Hey, this is in response to Chadag's Dirty Women video. How's it going? I think that I'm starting to see exactly where we're disconnecting and where the miscommunication is, and I think that when interpreting passages from the Bible, you tend to set up false dilemmas, in the sense of you essentially break it down into three possibilities. Either A, the Bible has to be literal, B, it has to be metaphorical, or C, the entire Bible is false. And I don't disagree that those are possibilities, however, I tend to think that there's a fourth one, which is simply that the Bible can still be the inspired word of God, yet written by man, and can still contain some errors. I realize that that kind of brings up the whole issue of, well, how do you know? What separates the fact from fiction? And I think that that's, again, with things like a 6,000 years old Earth, genealogy, the dirty women and whatnot, like, that's where you have to use your head and say, no, God didn't say that, God wouldn't say that, because that's absolutely idiotic. That's the work of primitive men who are just bigoted and borderline retarded. I mean, that's really the only way to look at it. I mean, I don't necessarily view passages like that as completely damning to faith or anything like that, simply because there is an alternative explanation for them. I mean, the Bible doesn't have to be completely false, it doesn't have to be completely literal, and it doesn't have to be completely metaphorical. I mean, you can simply take the pieces that seem utterly ridiculous and not consistent with the God that you think you were created in the image of, and that's probably the work of man. I mean, I don't know, that creates a lot of gray area, but again, how do you decide what's what? I mean, that's just kind of broken down by faith, and then, whatever isn't absolutely ridiculous. It's one of those things where faith is belief in something without proof, but when you believe in something, when there's an overwhelming abundance of evidence to the contrary, then that's just absurd. And in situations of the latter, where there's the overwhelming abundance to the contrary, like evolution, Noah's Ark, things like that, then I think that that's what you just kind of have to look at as either metaphorical or just the work of man. Doesn't negate the whole Bible whatsoever, but just negates that part, and again puts the Bible into historical context. Thanks.